CID ACP Pradyuman. Just the name, right? It brings back like a flood of memories.
Absolutely.
Just the Daya door breaks. I mean, come on, who needs keys?
Yeah, exactly.
Or ACP's classic line, Tuchto Gadbad High. Well, folks, get ready for things to get a whole lot more Gadbad. Headlines are buzzing, especially India today, with the news that ACP Pradyuman, the very face of CID for 2 decades, folks, is reportedly going to, wait for it, die
in an upcoming episode. Can you believe this?
I know, it's huge, right? Think about it. For so many of you, especially if you grew up in the 90s or the early 2000s, CID wasn't just a show. It was like this constant presence. It was like a ritual almost. Every week you knew ACP Pradyuman would be there, leading the team, cracking those impossible cases. It really was. It was like a family member almost, coming to visit every weekend.
Yeah.
And think about it, 1998 when it all began, and it became one of those longest running shows ever on Indian television,
Yeah.
running for 2 decades straight. And that core trio, forget about it. They were iconic. Shivaji Satam, the unshakable ACP Pradyuman, Dayanand Shetty, the muscle, the human battering ram we know as Senior Inspector Daya. And then there's Aditya Srivastava, the sharp, the intuitive Senior Inspector Abhijit.
Such an incredible team.
So in this deep dive, we're not just talking about a plot twist. This is like potentially a television landmark, the reported death of ACP. We're going to unpack that, but we're also going to, look back at the incredible journey of CID, its impact, its revival, all of it.
All of it.
And to navigate through all of this, we've got those news reports about this supposed death, and we've also got CID's extensive history from, the trusty Wikipedia.
A wealth of information there.
Yeah. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about this shocking development. That report from India today goes into detail about how ACP Pradyuman, played by the legendary Shivaji Satam, is going to meet his end, and it's going to be dramatic.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a bomb blast.
A bomb blast.
And the mastermind behind all this, a new character named Barbosa,
Oh, I love this already.
played by, get this, the talented Tigmanshu Dhulia. And apparently these scenes, they've already been filmed. So everyone's like on the edge of their seats waiting to see how this unfolds.
Oh, the suspense is killing me.
It is, isn't it? And the producers are being super tight-lipped, keeping things hush-hush.
Yeah.
They want this to be a total shocker for the viewers.
Understandably.
It's a bold move, no doubt. And it does make you wonder, were there any hints, before this news broke?
I think there might have been. Remember when the show came back, Shivaji Satam himself hinted at some big changes, right? He talked about tension between Daya and Abhijit, even said that ACP Pradyuman's world would be turned upside down. Now that we know this, it makes you think,
It does, doesn't it? Like maybe that's what he was talking about?
could be. Sounds like the writers are planning some serious shakeups. But let's step back for a second and just appreciate what CID was, and for many of you, still is.
For a whole generation, especially those 90s kids, CID was more than just a show.
It was an emotion.
It was appointment television, Sunday evenings, families gathered around the TV.
Absolutely. And the number of episodes is mind-blowing. Think about it. 1,547 episodes between 1998 and 2018. That's an insane amount of content week after week. And those faces, Shivaji Satam, Dayanand Shetty, Aditya Srivastava alongside Dinesh Phadnis as Inspector Fredericks, and Narendra Gupta as Dr. Solanke.
They were household names.
More than that, almost like extended family. Every weekend, they'd come into our living rooms and solve these crazy cases.
Seriously, it's hard to imagine Indian television without them. It's fascinating to see how they evolved over the years.
Even in that first episode, Fredericks and Dr. Solanke were there, solving crimes with ACP. Although, fun fact, Fredericks wasn't always Fredericks.
Yep. In some early episodes, he was called Prince, even Michael. Goes to show you how the show found its footing, how those characters became the icons we know and love.
It's a journey, isn't it? And the casting choices are interesting, too. Aditya Srivastava, the cool and collected Abhijit, his first appearance on CID was actually as a criminal who stole ACP's gun.
No way.
And Dayanand Shetty, the man who gave us the legendary Daya Darwaza Tdo, he started as Sub-Inspector Daya. It's amazing to see how they grew within the CID universe.
Speaking of growth and evolution, when CID made that surprise comeback in December 2024 for its second season, it wasn't just the main trio. You could catch it on Sony Entertainment Television and Netflix, and we saw Fredericks, Dr. Solanke, even Sub-Inspector Pankish.
A real reunion.
It was, picking up where they left off after a pretty long break.
Okay.
And let's not forget, the initial wave of popularity for CID was massive. Media outlets like Rediff.com praised it, highlighting Shivaji Satam's performance and how the cast became cultural icons.
They were everywhere.
The Times of India also recognized how unique and challenging those cases were. And who could forget all the internet jokes and memes? A clear sign of its lasting impact.
Definitely had its place in pop culture.
But then, out of nowhere, it ended. October 2018, after that incredible run, it just stopped. Dayanand Shetty said something at the time that really captures the feeling. He doubted it would come back after what they called a short break, and he called it a convenient way of killing the show.
Ouch.
Right. It really does sound like the team felt blindsided. It wasn't a gradual ending, no farewell season.
More like a sudden stop, which makes that revival in October 2024 even more
A
surprising.
total shock.
It was. That teaser dropped, announced the return of ACP, Daya, and Apajit, and social media exploded with nostalgia. Then in February 2025, Season 2 hit Netflix, reaching a whole new audience.
It did. So many fans were calling it the OG of Indian television. But if you look at the traditional TV ratings, the picture gets a bit more complicated. In the second week of 2025, the show had a TVR, that's television rating point, a measure of viewership on traditional TV of just 0.8.
0.8.
0.8. To put that into context, that's way lower, about 65% lower, than a super popular show like Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma. Shows you how much viewing habits have changed.
It's a huge difference. Really highlights how people are consuming content now.
Exactly. It's not just about tuning in at a specific time anymore. And while those traditional TV numbers might seem low, its performance on Netflix, where it apparently cracked the top 10 TV shows, is telling us something.
Shows the power of streaming, right? People are choosing on-demand content. Maybe some of you watching discovered the revival on Netflix. It really reflects how the industry is changing.
Totally. And it makes you wonder, what happened back in 2018? Why the sudden ending? The CID team actually made some pretty interesting claims in a podcast. They said the show was sabotaged from around 2016, and it was forced to die. A lot of unanswered questions there about what went down behind the scenes.
There is a lot of mystery surrounding that.
There is. And the fan reactions to the revival have been really interesting. Lots of excitement, tons of nostalgia. But some longtime viewers also had thoughts on why the show's ratings might have dropped in the past.
Like what?
Well, they mentioned things like too many reruns, not a focus on the core team interacting, and storylines that became a bit too predictable. Lots of murders, some superstitious stuff.
So maybe it got a little stale.
Possibly.
Yeah.
After such a long run, audience expectations change. Maybe they were looking for something fresh. And with this whole ACP Pradyuman thing, it does seem like the creators are trying to shake things up, introduce some unpredictability.
Big time. And we can't talk about CID without talking about Shivaji Satam. The man's a legend. 45 years in the industry. Before ACP, he was a big name in Marathi theater and films. Such dedication to his craft, truly inspiring.
Absolutely. And the story of how CID came to be is kind of sweet. It all started with a friendship between Shivaji Satam and the show's creative director. They were hoping for maybe 2 or 3 years, never imagined it would become this huge cultural phenomenon.
2 decades. They hit the jackpot with that one.
They did. And you can definitely sense his disappointment with how the show initially ended. It didn't feel like a natural conclusion after such a successful run. So this comeback, this potential new chapter, even with this huge development, it must mean a lot to him.
I'm sure it does. So let's recap, folks. We started with the shocker. ACP Pradyuman's reported death. A bomb blast, no less. A twist that could change CID forever. We looked back at the show's incredible run, its massive popularity, that amazing core cast. We touched on the controversial ending in 2018, the surprise revival, the differences between traditional TV and streaming numbers, even some behind-the-scenes talk, and what fans have been saying.
We covered a lot.
We did. And it really gets you thinking, doesn't it? What does this mean for shows that have been around for so long? Can they stay relevant in the age of streaming? Is this a bold move that will breathe new life into CID, maybe attract new viewers? Or will it alienate the loyal fans who've grown up with ACP? Big question, no easy answer.
It really is a big question. And we want to know what you think. What are your favorite CID memories? What was your reaction when you heard about ACP? Any theories on what's going to happen next? Will Daya take over? What other surprises are in store? Let us know in the comments. We want to hear from you.
I'm eager to see the comments.
Me too. This whole CID situation also shows us something bigger, how audiences are changing. The move from traditional TV to streaming is undeniable. CID was a huge success on TV, and now it's finding a new audience on Netflix. It's like a mirror reflecting how the whole industry is evolving.
It really is fascinating to see.
It is. And on that note, agar आप तक channel को subscribe नहीं किया तो ज़रूर से subscribe करें. ऐसी और मज़ेदार deep dives के लिए. So what's next for CID without ACP Pradyuman? I don't know about you, but I'm on the edge of my seat.
Me too. The future of CID is a mystery. Only time will tell what happens next.
That's right. Only time will tell.